So he joined me on the species hunt after a pike. My mate has already had 2 doubles this morning. Ain't it, Lee?
It's what it is.
Sweet, I'm in at last. It's off. It's off. You can't.
Get it back out there, mate.
Please stay on. I need to land in it here, mate. I'm going to take a bit of line.
It looks like a decent thing.
Stays on.
Yeah, that's a good fish, mate.
Picked up this other line.
Looks like double.
Number 11 on the species hunt. That's a double.
That's a double, mate. Lightly hooked. There you go.
I'm going to weigh this, mate.
Okay.
14.
With a net, yeah?
Yeah, 14.
Net's roughly about £2.
I'm losing now. There you go, goes about £12. Bit closer, mate, you get in? I'm happy with that.
She's sweet as a nut.
There's a little lake I've been told about that's a few miles up the road from me that apparently contains true crucians. It's a tiny little lake. That's one for the list. Right, this is the pond that I checked out the other day when I come here very early in the morning. I'm back here again because my pal told me that there's true crucians in this little pond, as well as shopping trolleys and rubbish. Well, I'm here to give it a go. Got some pinkies, so I'm not expecting anything big. Just saying, not much sign of life, and I got a bite. True to form, that looks like a Crucian Carp to me. It's a beautiful little fish. Caught on a pinky. I didn't expect that. That's like a wild common carp. Look at that. Didn't even have a landing net with me. I'm just thinking I'm going to swing fishing easily to me hand. But that's on a pinky on a size 18 hook on a 3-pound bottom. That's a nice little bit of sport there. So, as I say, I wasn't expecting that. I didn't even have a landing net. But it's always nice to catch a carp, ain't it? Right, that's proper ruined the swim, that has. I mean, I'm not unhappy to come here and catch a half-decent little fish like that out of this tiny little pond. On such light tackle, they give good sport. But I bet that has absolutely ruined this swim. Let's see how it goes. I'll throw a bit more bait out there. I'm going to plug away for another Crucian. It's definitely not a proper Crucian. Beautiful little mirror carp. No doubt about that. They're beautiful, ain't they? Yeah, that's me, I'm done. There's so many little carp in here. These carp have just bullied all the Crucians out of the swim. Now, that is a perfect little common carp. That's not what I'm after. Right, I'm done here. As you can tell, the mop is a disgrace. I'm getting it cut later, which is fantastic. I'm after some micro species today. I'm armed with a tiny little rod. I've got hook to nylons that are down to size 26. So I should be able to accommodate any size fish that I find today. I need things like common gobies, blennies, sticklebacks, that kind of stuff. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm going to start at Shoebury Ness. If there's anything that I can catch, I'll let you know. So with a click of my fingers, I'm at Shoebury Ness. This is the tidal pool that I wanted to fish, but the wind is stiff and freezing cold, and the ripple on the surface is making it hard to see if there's any life in the pool at all for me to target, because I would like to sight target these fish. But I'm here to fish and I'm going to give it a go, so let's give it a go. You believe it? I just hooked a fish and it dropped off. It would have been possibly the smallest fish I've ever caught on rod and line. Definitely the smallest fish I've caught on rod and line. This was minuscule. I'm going to try again. And again, you wouldn't have seen that, but a little fish just went for it. That was on camera, I caught it. There you go guys, success. That is a common goby, and a tiny one at that. That is probably the smallest fish I've ever caught. Let's get a photo of it. I didn't quite get the release on film, but he did fall off the hook in the end. So yeah, that's species number 13, I think. I can get the hell out of here now. People are looking at me as if to say, what on earth are you doing? Yeah, that was mission accomplished. I was beginning to give up hope there. I was there about 45 minutes and I was freezing. My fingers were freezing. And yeah, I got me common goby. That is species number 13. Now I've got that, I'm going to try and get myself a stickleback or something. So yeah, I'll see you wherever next. Right, we're outside the butcher's, barber's. We're going to get rid of this mop. I can't wait. Oh yeah, it looks so much better. That's how I like it. Not near buds. Little lake where I caught the Crucian Carp the other day. I'm after a rudd today, so we had a couple of tiny little carp and another little Crucian. Got my pal Lee with me today. He's fishing the pole. And yeah, I'll let you know if I catch anything. It is very lightly coloured, but that is a rudd. It's only a tiny one, but that is number 14 on the species hunt. Rudd, number 2 rudd. Nice little lake this for nothing, for free. My sort of lake. Was number 14 on the species hunt. Looks like fun, doesn't it? I'm trying to add to the species hunt. I've got some ragworms to use, so I'm hoping for a little schoolie bass, my first one of the year. It's windy and it's a chilly northerly wind. We've had it for weeks. It's horrible. We're getting these nice, really bright sunny days with freezing cold chilly winds, brisk cold chilly winds. I can't fish with this onshore breeze, I just can't do it. There's no shelter at all. Yeah, look, if I go down the sea wall, down here, look at the difference, look, you're behind the sea wall. Now we're being harassed by dogs. I am yet again in the beautiful Essex countryside. My mates invited me as a guest onto his club lake. There he is, right Kev?
Just off the corner here. And then you've got them islands flying through on your method if you wanted.
Yeah.
Up to you, mate.
The traps have been set. I've already had a few little tiddlers. They're like piranhas in here. My mate's had a couple of bites on the method feeder, which is what I'm doing. A bit further out there with Kong. That's for the tench. And just off of these lilies here, I threw a few handfuls of maggots. Being plagued with these rudd. I mean, that's a beautiful fish. I'm not unhappy to catch that, but I've already caught one, so I'm going to keep plugging away for a perch. Right, it's another one that's not a target species. I've already got a roach, but what a beautiful fish. That is a lovely fish. I've been catching a lot of really, really small roach and rudd. And yeah, that looks lovely in the sun. Let's get him back. Oh, he's unhooked himself. we got here? A roach.
I thought they looked different, that is.
Beautiful roach. That is not what I'm after. Might have a silver bream here. I've got to get a close-up photo of this, and I've got to count the scales and check the eye diameter, all that jazz. It's either a silver bream or it's a roach bream hybrid. Long anal fin, which proves that it has bream in it, and it's got a rather large eye. It hasn't got a producible mouth. Yes, it has. Yeah. Right, let's get a photo of that. There he goes. I've come down to the River Crouch as part of my specimen hunt. I haven't been very active lately because the weather's just been terrible and I just haven't been feeling it. If it's not raining lately, it's just cold northerly winds. I mean, the northerly winds are gone. Still windy, but it's a warm wind, which is, to pardon the pun, a breath of fresh air. But I'm down on the shore and I've noticed this in the past. This is why I think these estuaries at certain times of the year get full of schoolie bass, and the reason why the rays come upstream into the estuary. And if you look, last time there was a spring tide and it comes right up to the seawall over the saltings, you can see amongst the rubbish, unfortunately there's loads of rubbish, but amongst the rubbish, loads of these little cast shells. These are not dead crabs. These are where crabs have peeled. They've come into the estuary, or they're in the estuary anyway, and they've come to peel. And this, it's littered with them. When I first moved here, you know, I used to think that there was something wrong with the water and that these were all killed off by pollution or chemicals or something. But no, these are every year you get these. After the big spring tides, they get washed up, and these are the shed skins of millions of tiny crabs. There's just loads of them. I'm not armed with peeler crab today, but I should imagine at this time of year, if you're using peeler crab, that is the #1 bait to use, because that is what the fish are coming in the estuary to feed upon. I've got ragworms today, and a hungry bass that's come into the estuary to feed on these tiny little crabs or the peeler crabs is not going to turn its nose up to a ragworm. It also tells you that there's millions of crabs in this estuary and they are a pain in the neck. It is, well, one of the reasons why it's not my favourite venue, to tell you the truth, the Crouch Estuary. Don't get me wrong, I like it and it's close to me, it's full of life, but the big tides and the crabs make it a pain in the neck sometime. Especially today, I'm fishing really light. I've brought light gear. I just want to bump a ragworm over the mud flats and just see what comes along. I'm just trying to up me numbers with regards to the species challenge. There's a sill right where I wanted to fish. So this is my chosen mark. This is where this creek enters the River Crouch. And we're coming up to high tide in about an hour and a half. I'm not expecting much, really. But this is the reason why it's such a pain in the arse to come down here and fish. There are fish in that creek. I've had flounder and bass out of there before, and I know they're in there. But nothing gets past these. These get to every bait that's put down there before any fish gets there. It's such a pain in the neck. He's a fair size for a shore crab. You know what? Crabs are driving me bonkers. So there you see the problem. I have actually had a couple of tugs, like a pull round a couple of tugs. I have actually had well, they seem to me to be like a proper couple of rattles on the rod tip. Like I've had a couple of bites from fish. I mean, I can only assume they're schoolie bass because I would have hooked them otherwise, but well, I finally caught me schoolie bass. It ain't a monster, but it's number 15 on the species hunt, and that's what I was here to do. So there you go. So thank God for that little bass. He's tiny, but you know what? That is so welcome. There he goes. So that was number 15 on the species hunt list. I could have caught it ages ago probably. I just haven't had the determination to go out in the wind and the cold, but it's done now.